door slam in her face. This is what is happening to our country. Now, she also went on to say that what she believes the real question would be is if the guy would be offended if she held the door for her. Now, a woman tweeted this out, and this is, I think, hits the nail on the head. This is Teresa Tomeo. She said, "Let me get this straight. Men being nice to women is sexist, but Christian Grey is a dreamboat." Seriously? And of course, you know, I haven't read the novels, but Christian Grey is apparently this guy that gets off on tying up women and beating them. So that's what third wave feminism is doing to women. They have their hashtag kill all men, but really it's kill all the nice men. That's what they're doing, is they're scaring men. They don't want to pay for dinner. And I'm sorry, but if you take me out on a first date and you think that we're going to go 50-50, you are not. I'll pay for half, but you're definitely not going to get a second date with me. Now, and also the thing I think that's just really sad about this is we live in a society now where people are so quick to just swipe left or right, and it's always on to the next, on to the next. And one of the ways that a man can actually show you that you're special and important is by doing these things for you. But now that just makes me weak, I guess, because I'm conservative. And it's all of these trendy liberal women in New York who are in Boston who are outnumbered by men 2-to-1. And so they're single and they let all of these men walk all over them. So that is fact. That's science. You can go look that up. Well, coming up next, right after this, we are going to have an in-depth report from Alex Jones. He is making fun of Funny or Die and their perpetual need to spread propaganda. And we've got some other special reports coming up as well.
The knowledge of the ancients, tried and true, trusted herbs and extracts fused with the latest nutraceutical science. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. For the last 2 years, our team has been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to develop the ultimate nutraceutical formulation. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. For a limited time, get 25% off on this introductory offer. Visit ancientdefense.com or call 888-253-3139. ancientdefense.com. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new INFOWARSLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at INFOWARSLife.com. That's INFOWARSLife.com or call 888-253-3139. The totalitarian left is in deep trouble. Their lies about self-defense and the right to keep and bear arms are being exposed. More and more traditionally liberal individuals are getting into the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment's culture of individual liberty and self-defense is popular. It's sexy. It's fun. The first rule of being free is the right to self-defense. And in their campaign against freedom, they're turning up the heat and getting caught in their lies. And finally tonight here at InfoWars Nightly News, we're going to analyze propaganda. In fact, propaganda that is being financed by some of the richest billionaires in the world, as well as the Justice Department and the federal government. Funny or Die got funding from the Brady campaign, which is also funded by George Soros and people like Mayor Bloomberg, who have huge entourages of armed bodyguards but don't want you to have any self-protection. They've put out a video that is so ridiculous, so deceptive, that it has absolutely blown up in the face of the makers. And we're going to play some clips here from it and analyze this propaganda and then go into the actual facts from places like the LA Times and the FBI. So let's go to the first little section of this clip and break down this tissue of lies. They start out by saying, until now, it's been hard for criminals to be able to go out and get guns or to find out where to get them. Criminals get most of their guns by robbing people's houses. And the places around the country that have the highest crime rates are areas that have the most restrictive gun laws. We're going to show you those stats. But let's go to the intro clip where they then claim that gun owners want to, quote, wear leather jackets and yell at women. So they mix in some type of weird feminist angle to this as well. Here it is.
How would a criminal like me know which states permit me to carry loaded guns in their amusement parks, golf courses, or beaches?
I have some violent friends. We all wear leather jackets and scream at women. And we want to find out which states we can buy and sell guns easily.
Okay, before we go further into this propaganda piece, as they prey on their ignorant audience, let's actually go through some of the facts. Not from INFOWARS.com, but directly from the Los Angeles Times. Here's the article from 2013. Gun crime has plunged, but Americans think it's up, study says. And then the LA Times goes into the same reports that Forbes covers. Disarming realities as gun sales soar, gun crime plummets because criminals are scared of law-abiding citizens with guns. We need good people with guns, and we need the bad people to be scared of it. But the ruling political class that's out of control wants us disarmed because slaves are disarmed. It's that simple. Now, let's actually look on screen at some of the statistics from FBI.gov. The latest numbers we have are from 1992 to 2013. We have a 50+% drop in guns being used in crimes and gun-related deaths since 1992. But you go to the Brady campaign website that paid for this, and they say there's an epidemic of gun violence in America. But as the LA Times said, it's a perception. For at least a decade after Jaws came out in the early 1970s, resorts all over North America saw upwards of half of their visitors drop because they think sharks are there and are about to eat them. You cannot make this up. Let's go to the second clip where they imply that, again, it's states like Arizona allowing people to get guns when Arizona follows the exact same federal law. Here's part 2 of the lies.
That's the site to find out where it's easiest for felons and fugitives to buy, carry, and even traffic guns.
That's why I love Arizona, where I can go see the beautiful Grand Canyon and carry a loaded gun without even having to get a background check.
You would fail that background check.
This is base propaganda, what you're seeing, where they then act like animals, stereotypes of men out of control. The woman starts sticking a gun in her mouth. This is an actress and an actor. They're trying to demonize a fundamental right. We're defending the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Second, the 10th, all of them. This is a full-out assault on the basic underpinnings of this country. Let's go to the clip where they then act like wild animals and try to demonize gun owners.
Hungry for guns.
I understand that crimadvisor.com will tell me which states really cater to us criminals and creeps, but
Now, Chicago has the highest crime rate in the world, not just the U.S., but the second highest crime rate is D.C. with a total gun ban. And the Supreme Court overturned it 6 years ago. They've still bureaucratically ignored that, so they still have the second highest crime rate. Here's an article, violent crime in D.C. surges in 2012, and it's just continuing to do so. Meanwhile, Chicago murder rate in 2013, right through to the next year, far worse with strict gun control in place because the criminals have nothing to fear. They don't follow the gun laws, which is what makes this Funny or Die piece So ridiculous. But then a year later, when Chicago allowed limited, because of that Supreme Court case, D.C. versus Heller, concealed carry, criminals got scared. Because see, law-abiding citizens followed the law and didn't have guns, so the criminals had free reign. Limited concealed carry. Just a few thousand permits issued, and crime began to drop immediately in Chicago. It's like introducing penicillin when you've got a toothache. It's killing the bacteria. It's scaring the criminals. It's deterring them, feeling like they have free reign. And in the final lie, the final clip we're going to play from this piece, from Funny or Die, they show flags that, according to them, the criminals that want to get guns and are pro-Second Amendment, that these are the states that they don't like. And they mention Maryland and New York. Well, notice it's Maryland and New York that have the most restrictive gun laws across the nation, and it was a cop killer from Maryland who went to New York and shot the two cops in the head. So literally everything they say is the inverse of reality.
But California, Connecticut, Maryland, and New York all have laws to keep guns out of the hands of people like us.
I want to shoot California so bad.
Boo, California.
Boo.
So again, notice this is all happening in these gun-free zones, just like the mass shootings are happening in the public schools and other areas that advertise themselves as a place for Prozac heads to come where they won't be resisted, where they can ghoulishly kill innocent people. And finally tonight, if you actually go to the website that they're advertising, it's registered, as you can see here, by the Brady campaign to, quote, end gun violence, that is financed by every globalist you can imagine, George Soros, Bloomberg, you name it. It is registered directly to them, and they actually show you states where you can go that do have laxer gun laws in the hopes that criminals could get guns. Well, it's not our fault that criminals go out and commit crimes, but to actually advertise for lazy, stupid criminals ways to try to get around other states' laws is actually aiding and abetting, which is their point. I've been firing guns since I was 5 years old. I've never had an accident, knock on wood. I have no criminal record, and firearms have helped me stop criminal activities multiple times in my life. Guns are used many more times to stop crime than they're used to be involved in crime. Do we say disarm the police because sometimes bad cops do bad things? No. We know that having an armed, trained person makes us all safer. There is a revolution taking place in the Second Amendment right now. A lot of liberals are waking up to this and becoming real liberals who believe in human empowerment. A lot of women are becoming real feminists and going out and learning how to protect themselves. So-called liberals would never want their daughters or sons to know how to protect themselves and just lay down and be raped. Homeland Security and others tell women to vomit or pee on people that are busting in their houses. This is insanity. We're not afraid here at INFOWARS.com, even though we've been threatened by criminals and ISIS and others, and death threats against this organization have been in the national news, because we're ready to defend ourselves. We're not going to roll over and die to tyrants like Hitler, Stalin, and Mao, and their fellow travelers today. We understand that slaves are disarmed. We understand that free men will never turn in their firearms. As Thomas Jefferson said, no free person should be disbarred the use and ownership of firearms. It is the mark of a free, independent human to have a sword, to have a gun, to have private property, and to have due process. So we're going to end this special report tonight from a historic thing that happened about a year and a half ago. There had never been any political speech since the Alamo in 1836. It was opened back up for political events by the land commissioner. I was invited to speak for the first speech ever since the Alamo in San Antonio. Here is an excerpt of that speech. But I had to come down here just to tell you that the police officers that are here, the Homeland Security people that are here, all of them, you are going to be enslaved by this system. You will be targeted first when the globalists actually take over. And you know that in your gut. And there is an awakening happening worldwide. And we are that tip of the spear. And I am so proud of Texas. We will take our rights back in San Antonio. We will take our rights back in Austin. We will take our rights back in Chicago. We will take our rights back in Beijing. We will take our rights back in Mexico City. We will take our rights back in Australia and England and everywhere else, because there is a worldwide awakening that is happening right now. We must hang together and retake Texas and then the Republic, because the globalists know the world is waking up to them, so they are accelerating a program to take over. We are in a key juncture in history.